like to call to order the Gateway Board of School Directors Study Session Meeting. Today is Tuesday, February 12th, 2019. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have a roll call, Bonnie, please?
Mr. Bova. Here. Mrs. Cerrucci.
Here.
Mr. Gottman.
Here.
Dr. Kalkstein.
Here.
Mr. Lapsevich. Mr. McIntyre.
Present.
Mr. Ritter.
Here.
Mrs. Warning.
Here.
Mr. Williams.
Here.
Are there any comments from residents on agenda items? Did anybody sign up?
No one signed up.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to comment on anything on the agenda this evening?
Very good.
Go ahead, Mr. Houston.
Come on.
I'm sorry. You said on what's on the agenda, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Agenda items are prior to the meeting, and non-agenda items are toward the end of the agenda for this evening.
Well, I've gotten old since the last time I saw you guys. I'm sorry.
I don't see any more gray hairs.
Oh, there's tons. Don't let the dye fool you. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. I've just got a lot on the brain. Well, really what I wanted to say, and to be honest with you, and I guess this would be an agenda item. I really wanted to speak to and thank the Gateway School District and all of you all for the spectacular work that you all have been doing. I have not had the opportunity to come in to really greet you all and really thank you when it comes to the achievement issue with our African American population and the minority student population, but I've been monitoring from afar. But it was something that I had told the executive committee, and I'm being very, very sincere to the whole community. Actually, I've been speaking about it everywhere I've been, that Gateway has really, really made some awesome strides as a district. And I really appreciate every last one of you for what you all are doing to close that achievement gap. And Dr. Short, he sat with me forever. I think a little too long, but and he really, we had a wonderful conversation, and he told me his commitment to what he was striving to do. So I really want to thank you all very, very much on behalf of the NAACP Allegheny East branch. We are very, very appreciative of you all taking those issues very serious. And again, we have been monitoring from afar. And I've been reading the reports and seeing the stuff and reading and carrying on. Sometimes I fall asleep, I ain't gonna lie, reading stuff, but you guys have really done a fantastic job. And your district and your teachers are to be commended, seriously. Your teachers are really, really hard workers, very hard workers. And not just because I got a kid in the district, but, well, a little bit. But no, seriously, and I don't want to hold you guys up, but I do want to thank you all for what you're doing. I've bragged about you on the state level. I've talked to other presidents, and I've told them, I said, maybe, you know, if we buy them some donuts and coffee, we can get them to give us our secret, give up their secrets. But I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart on behalf of the NAACP Allegheny East. You guys are doing a phenomenal, phenomenal job. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Houston. I think on behalf of the board, we would say that means a great deal to us coming from you, sir. We do appreciate your comments. And I would also encourage you to come back next week when
donuts.
Dr. Woods Dr. Woods will be here to kind of give an update on the things that he's been doing with the district regarding equity. So I hope to see you next week, too.
I hope to be. Thank you.
Miss-
And Mr. Houston, if I could just add as well, I recently had a reporter from Public Source reach out to me wanting to do an article on the closing or attempting closing of the achievement gap throughout Pennsylvania and, of course, the United States. And she had heard about our successes and what we were doing here at Gateway, and she wanted to explore those. And I probably spent an hour and a half with her describing our processes, procedures. She ran some analytics, some data herself, and recognized that in Allegheny County, in fact, more than Allegheny County, the IU, there is no other school or district around that has the highest academic achievement scores for our African American students than Gateway. So I wanted to at least let you know that in advance of the article.
Very proud of you guys, seriously. Give out some raises.
We did that.
Mary Beth,
I'll take one.
Yes, sir, Mr. Lapsevich.
can I say something? Mr. Houston, thank you for your honesty and your great wisdom. It touches me, and I appreciate everything you do for the community too.
I'm not used to this. Somebody's got to yell.
I'm going to cut in then. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on agenda items this evening? Mr. Beistel.
I just had a quick question. I was reading through the minutes here, and you're looking for another turf for the high school football field?
No, sir, for the baseball and softball fields.
Oh, okay. Thanks. That would be the third one for the football stadium.
No, we're good. We should be good there for a while.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, there's another couple years left.
Anybody else like to address the board on agenda items? Okay, with that, I need to make a brief motion to adjourn for personnel reasons for an executive session. Second by Rick. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, we'll be adjourned for a few minutes, and we will be right back. To review bills and financial reports.
Yes, I am. All right, thank you, Mr. Ricci. Section B, we have this evening the list of bills for Section B1 for the month of February 2019. Presenting those this evening, and as we've always been doing the last several months, we will have an additional set of bills to present for the regular board meeting. We also have Section B2, monthly financial statements for the month of January 2019, and Section B3, budget transfers for the month of February 2019. All three of these items this evening for the board's review.
Are there any questions for Mr. Schott on these three items? Okay, seeing none. Section D, personnel agenda. We do have some action items this evening. Mrs. Crum?
Thank you, Mr. Rucci. Resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors accepts and approves the personnel agenda item 1 as listed in Section D for the study session meeting of Tuesday, February the 12th. We do have before you this evening 7 resignations listed, 5 of which are retirements. We want to congratulate each of those individuals and thank them for their service and for all that they've done for Gateway.
Can I have a motion, please? Is there a second? Is there any discussion for Mrs. Crump? Any questions, comments?
I just have one. I was hoping Ms. Taylor would change her mind, but I just want to wish her the best of luck. I've worked with her for for 20-some years, and,
26.
well, I'm saying I did, and she's going to be missed, and I just want to wish her the best of luck with her future plans. Thanks, Nance.
Thank you. Okay, can we have a roll call to accept Section 1 resignations?
Mrs. Cerrucci.
Aye.
Mr. Gottman. Dr. Kalkstein.
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich. Mr. McIntyre.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Mrs. Warning.
Aye.
Mr. Williams. Mr. Bova.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Then for the study session meeting agenda for next week, under leave of absence, we have 7 listed at the current time. Under transfers for collective bargaining agreement, we have 3. For employment, we have 1 that will be reallocating from part-time to full-time. We did hire our part-time staff nurse, who will start the following week. We have 2 paraprofessionals, which fills our gamut of what we needed for paraprofessionals. And we have some supplemental contracts listed, along with 4 volunteers.
Okay, is there any discussion, since this is a non-action item? Any questions for Mrs. Crump? Okay, moving right
Thank you very
along.
much.
Thank you. Section E, conferences and conventions. You want to take that, Mr. Shaky?
Thank you, Ms. Ritchie. Resolved that the Gateway Board of School Directors approves and authorizes the following conferences and conventions as listed in Section E, the regular board meeting of Tuesday, February 19th. We have 1 conference listed.
Okay, any questions on the conference and State College? Seeing none. Section F, administrative report. We have another action item this evening.
Mr. Schott, take this.
Thank you, Dr. Short. Item number 1, approve the district's participation in a varsity boys football game with Washington High School to be held in Massillon, Ohio on Friday, October 11, 2019 at 7:30 p.m. And the district's receipt of a $4,000 payment from Washington High School is a reimbursement of transportation expenditures as depicted in Exhibit A.
Second.
Is there any questions on this, or do you want to maybe provide a little background to the public for why we're doing this?
I could do so. The WPIL, I could defer to you in a minute,
Okay.
has a 2-year cycle where conferences and schedules are made up. Games are then decided based on the dates. And unfortunately, one of the WPIL longstanding members, Albert Gallatin, decided that they would no longer participate in the WPIL for football. Based on their decision, that created an open week. Sorry about that. It created an open week. Thus, all 9 members of the football conference from which we participate in were actively seeking an open week game. Fortunately, Massillon, Ohio, the Massillon Tigers gave us a call, along with our neighbors, Penn Trafford, and we have elected to both play Massillon. Penn Trafford is playing them, I believe, week 3 or 4, and Gateway is playing them on week 8. So we have successfully filled the open bye week. Mrs. Warren, you have anything to say?
Yes, I had talked to Coach Hall, and he just did a quick run-through with the reasons why that they're going to go, with Massillon. And as Dr. Short said, with the departure of Albert Gallatin, we had the open away game. And the travel distance to Massillon, as everybody's think it's much further, but we played Erie McDowell, which is 134 miles away, where Massillon is only 123.3 miles, so it's actually closer. They will be playing at 7:30 at night. They will leave in the morning and return that day. As Mr. Schott said, that Washington school that they are at has paid for the transportation, so that's not going to be any cost to the district. They also have a storied football history and a recent history of success similar to Gateway's. Massillon's Washington, with 1,100 students in grades 9 through 12, competed in the Ohio PIAA, which is the same as equivalent to our PIAA, with Gateway with their students. So it's showing that everybody's pretty much set up the same thing. And Massillon High School, who they will be playing, was also the state runner-up, who will be an excellent competitor for the Gateway football team. So I think it's going to be, and also they will be playing in the Paul E. Brown Stadium, which is one of the most storied venues in the high school athletics, and it will provide a memorable experience for many of our student athletes. And just wish them well.
Great. Anybody else have any comments or questions? Okay, we do have some additional items in section F that are non-action items.
Roll call.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, did I vote on it?
Mr. Gottman. Dr. Kalkstein.
Aye.
Mr. Lapsevich.
Aye.
Mr. McIntyre.
Aye.
Mr. Ritter.
Aye.
Mrs. Warning.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Bova.
Aye.
Mrs. Cerrucci.
Aye. Thanks, Bonnie. Okay, now additional items in section F.
Administrative report. Dr. Rossi, could you take following items 1, 2, and 3?
Number 1 is the final approval of policy 249, bullying and cyberbullying, depicted in Exhibit A. Number 2 is professional development services with Apple Professional Learning with 2 days of on-site embedded training within our classroom. Our focus will be Moss-Side Middle School with the iPads we have there. Number 3 is an overnight excursion with Mr. Person, the MBA Western Regional School District.
Dr. Jakey, facility agreements, item number 4, and item number 5.
Before, we have several facility agreements, one with the Gateway High School marching band, Gateway Midget football and cheerleading, Gateway Midget football and cheerleading again at Moss-Side Middle School, one for Darney Fennerty, Fire and Ice Talent Competition, and one for Boy Scouts of America, Laurel Highlands Council. Item number 5, acceptance of district donations received during the 2018-19 fiscal year. Donation from Target, the recipient Amy Bear, teacher at Gateway Middle School. Also a donation from the Rotary Club of Monroeville for Sean McMahon, the advisor of the Robotics Club.
Mr. Schott.
Thank you, Dr. Short. Item number 6, approve the district's opposition to H.R. 291 of 2018 and any further legislative initiatives by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to remove local control and oversight of earned income tax revenues from the Allegheny County Southeast Tax Collection Committee to the PA Department of Revenues depicted in Exhibit C. Please note, the above opposition is in support of the Allegheny County Southeast Tax Collection Committee's Management Committee, which unanimously voted to pass a similar resolution opposing H.R. 291 in 2018 and any further legislative initiatives by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I am actually the district's primary voting delegate, serving as a representative to the Allegheny County Southeast Tax Collection Committee, and is also a member of the Management Committee that voted on the resolution. In addition to the loss of local control and oversight, the district would encounter negative cash flow issues with earned income tax revenues being collected by the PA Department of Revenue, as well as paying greater earned income tax collection fees. Item number 7, approve the extension of the 2 current agreements with UGI Energy Services, LLC, for natural gas transportation services on the People's Natural Gas System and the Equitable Natural Gas System through the Western Pennsylvania Natural Gas Consortium for a 36-month period from September 1st, 2019 through August 31st, 2022, with a basis price of minus 39 cents per DTH as depicted in Exhibit D. Item number 8, approve the advertisement for the replacement of the dehumidification system for the pool at the Gateway High School Sports Complex as a capital repair project for the 18-19 fiscal year. Note the above capital repair project was budgeted for in the district's capital reserve fund budget for the current 18-19 fiscal year. Also, purchasing from an applicable vendor already on a pre-bid contract or from a purchasing group is not an applicable option for the above capital repair project. And item number 9, approve the district's administration to request, to research, and to analyze available synthetic turf companies and their corresponding types of turf products for the possible installation of new synthetic turf sports fields at the high school as possible future capital improvement projects to be considered for the completion during a subsequent fiscal year. Note, the above approval will enable the district's administration to advertise requests for participation by all available synthetic turf companies, to research all available types of synthetic turf products available, and to analyze the related costs and means of acquisition for synthetic turf products. The possible scope of the new synthetic turf sports fields at the high school could range from a partial turf installation project for one field to full turf installation projects for multiple sports fields. All installation options and related costs will be considered and analyzed.
Thank you, Mr. Schott. At this time, I'd like to open up for discussion.
Sure, Dr. Rossi, I have a question about item number 2, this Apple two-day session where we're going to have some professional development for the teachers. Could you just flesh that out a little bit more for me? Is this that Apple system whereby the teachers personalize the software to the student, or am I thinking of something a little different?
This will be professional development from Apple Professional Learning Services for the iPads that we have at Mount Middle, and it will help to personalize the learning, target interventions, and the use of all the apps that are available to the students and the teachers. We're targeting the Title IV funds for the purchase of the services.
And this will be a two days worth of training for our teachers?
2-day on-site training for teachers.
Excellent.
They'll come to work in the classrooms, do lesson plans. The Apple professional development trainers will be here working side by side with the teachers.
And Paul, on item number 6, you mentioned that we wanted to keep local control of the taxing authority here, and it says here that the taxing management committee voted unanimously to oppose this. So this is not just Gateway, this is all of the folks from southwestern Pennsylvania want to remain, want to have the local control with respect to the EIT collection, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Questions, comments? Quiet board tonight. Okay. Oh, that's all we have. There's nothing in section G, so at this time, we will open up the floor to attendees for comments or questions on non-agenda items. Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
My name's Jeanette, and I'm a parent of 3 students at University Park. And I'm here tonight to give you a little information. You all have this flyer in front of you. The University Park is doing its first STEAM Up night, and we are very, very excited about this. We have 55 students participating in a science fair type project, so there will be displays throughout the all-purpose room. There will be the B-Bots and the Finch Bots available in a couple of the classrooms for the students to go down, explore, use. The Monroeville Public Library is going to be there, and I think I'm second most excited, other than the displays, about the Robotics Club coming. And I know I have 2 boys that are very excited to see the Robotics Club. And wanted to just make the public aware, wanted to invite each and every one of you to come and see what these kids are doing. 2 weeks ago, we had a research night at the Monroeville Public Library. We had over 40 students show up. Ms. Benson did a phenomenal job helping them find their books, research, asking questions that they weren't thinking to ask, to go find. It was just phenomenal to watch, and it's really great to watch these kids in grades K through 4 get excited about this. So I wanted to just extend the invitation to everyone here. It's going to be Wednesday, February 27th. 6:30 at night, the doors will open. It's going to extend probably to the whole first level because we have 55 displays and then STEAM activities for the whole family. So thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing none. Mr. Williams, do you have a board report?
Nope.
Dr. Kalkstein?
Nothing further, thanks.
Mr. Ritter?
Sure, I attended with a bunch of the other folks here a tour of the new Montour Elementary School, a $65 million school out there. with just fabulous, fabulous facilities. And so Michael put together a little slideshow, and I took some pictures. I'd like to share the some of those pictures with the folks in the district. So maybe if I could put that together as a PowerPoint, we could put it up there on the.
We would need permission from Montour in that case.
All right, so I'll just suffice it to say, $65 million went into the elementary school. It is fabulous. They did 100 tours last year and 40 tours this year. If you get a chance to go out, the principals do a wonderful job of showing off that school system.
Thank you for that commercial for Montour.
I also went out to the Trinity Christian School open house a couple days ago, and the folks out there are doing a wonderful job. And I think that's all I have.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Ritter. Mr. Bova.
Thank you. I too toured a school along with Dr. Short and a couple of the other folks, Mr. Brown, and I'm drawing a blank now. Dr. Shaky was there, as was Mary Beth and Rick.
Mr. McIntyre.
Of course. And we went to Propel School in Pitcairn, and we got to tour basically the opposite of a shiny new $65 million school. We got to tour a 100-plus-year-old school that was renovated with a couple of $1 million that seems to be serving its purpose very well. And that is of interest to us because, as you all probably know, we're in the process of analyzing our current school situation and trying to determine what is the best way in all regards to educate these 3,000-plus students that we have here at Gateway. As most of you maybe know, a few decades ago we had about 8,000 students here at Gateway. And through all the changes in the environment, we're at less than half of that. Our number of schools hasn't changed dramatically, so there are certainly changes we're going to be making to try to best accommodate the students and also best use the taxpayers' dollars. Everybody likes shiny new things, and some folks will tell you that there's actually a slight increase in scholastic achievement, at least for a short while when the students were in a new building. If you've been following the news, you've also seen what new buildings can do to a school district if you look at our neighbors from Penn Hills. So there are certainly ways of building new schools that work, and there are lots of ways that don't work quite as well. So I'd like to thank Mr. Brown and everyone who came, and also we're in the process of taking a look at our schools. We toured Ramsey, which again, long-term residents of Monroeville and Pitcairn will tell you that 40 years ago, Ramsey was the new thing. It was going to have no walls. It was going to be an open educational experience, and
Certainly is.
and now it's got dividers and walls and lots of space that perhaps isn't utilized as best it could be. So lots of things are going on in terms of that decision. I appreciate the folks who went to Montour to look at the new stuff, and I also appreciate those who are staying aware of the old things and how they can still serve our school. So,
Thank you, Mr. Bova. Mr. Dice, do you have anything?
I have nothing tonight.
Save you for last session. Mr. McIntyre.
Yeah, I wanted to thank the folks at Montour and Propel Pitcairn again for hosting us for those 2 tours. Learned a lot of good things that come from either application and a lot of missteps to look out for, depending on which avenue we take. So it was very informative couple of days there. I think I'm at my limit for walking building tours for the month, so please don't invite me to anything else. I also had the opportunity a couple weeks ago to attend a Pennsylvania School Board Association, kind of a round table, basically with board presidents and vice presidents, and was honored to attend with our president, Mrs. Cerrucci here, who actually sat as a panelist and did an excellent job representing our district and our board. And I'll let her probably speak on that, as I'm sure she's going to, but that was a very informative evening, very eye-opening to see how and kind of the point of it was to see how different boards from different districts operate differently, and you'd be really surprised how different some of these boards operate, and I'm very proud of the job Mary Beth did representing us and how we operate as a board and function in comparison to what we saw out there that night. So that's all for me.
Thank you, Rick. Mr. Galtman.
Yeah, late last month, I got the opportunity to tour these buildings with Mr. Brown and Dr. J. With our local fire departments for the annual walkthrough of the boiler rooms, electrical systems, and I thought it was pretty interesting seeing what powers our schools in all the buildings. It's one area I never had a chance to go to, so it was really nice being able to see it, and it's also, I felt it was reassuring that with our fire department coming and seeing how everything works, that in the event an emergency occurs, and to be able to help our students be safe. That's all.
Mrs. Warning.
Just a couple things. First off, I was at the board meeting for Sunrise. I'm the liaison for them, and you would be surprised at the budget that they work with. It's very limited on things that they can do, and it just so happened that two of the items that came up that we had just discussed previously, and ours was the lead in the water, and I was able to touch base with Mr. Brown, Mr. Bob Brown, about who he dealt with testing the waters, and I forwarded it to their facility manager, which he was very appreciative of. This was the first time that they've ever had to do it. The discussions that we had, they didn't feel that they needed it, but then it's just to safeguard all the students there. So, Bob, thank you, I appreciate it. And to Mike O'Brien, thank you. They were having problems with their wireless system, and it was setting off the fire alarms. And I know with all the things that Miko does, I was able to touch base with him also during the meeting, that he talked with their facility manager also and gave them references and contacts and resources, and it really helped them out immensely. So to both of you, thank you very much. To Dr. Fedorenko, he's not here, he's probably home resting. He was our backup administrator for Gateway Middle School for 6 weeks plus, and for over at Ramsey. And thank you. You did an excellent job. I stopped over at Ramsey, and he was just sitting at the desk, and I says, "What's wrong?" And he says, "You know, when you come from 7th and 8th graders to these little kids, it's a big change." And he says, "You know, I had to discipline a couple kids." And I says, "What were they doing?" He says, "They were talking loud in the bathroom." So he says, "They come into my office and they're so scared." And he says, "But, you know, they're just so cute." But I just want to thank you for, you know, really helping out when we were in a crunch. Congratulations to all the winter sports. They're ended, except for the girls basketball team, who made it to the playoffs. They are finding out this evening who they will be playing. They will get a bye the first week, and then look on our page, our web page, which we will have listed when and where they will be playing. Congratulations to the girls and all the teams. Also, Miko, thank you. You did the investigating on the Pixelot, and he put it in effect, and there's 2 games that are from our basketball team, and I can give you the website. It was amazing to go on. You set up your own account, there's no charge. How clear the pictures are. This will be used for our football season on either side of the stadiums. It just follows the action. And Dr. Short, you know you spend a lot of time, but when I saw that basketball court, it really popped. And it was just so impressive seeing those girls and the boys play on that. What facilities we have here draws anybody here. So just, Micah, thank you. It really worked well. Everything's really clear. If anybody wants to go on and look at it, it's N as in Nancy, F as in Frank, H as in High, and S as in Skull. Network.com. And it's really a great site. And thank you, Dr. Chakey, and all the administrators for the safety meeting that you did prior to here, and for the SGA for our present. And with that, that's it.
And just to follow up real quick with what Mrs. Warning was saying, myself and Mr. Brown will have a demo of the Pixelot technology that we did install at the Sports Center. It is up and running. There's a few bugs we're working out with the score and the clock. But essentially, this technology is artificial intelligence where it eliminates the need for a film crew, thus reducing cost, and it follows the play of the game virtually as it's taking place. And it is, in fact, I guess, internet. You log on, the game is live, and you can watch it. So if you have an aunt, uncle, relative somewhere in Wyoming, New York, Florida, they're able to watch the game live. So it's quite impressive technology.
Kids call that streaming.
Streaming, that's the word I was looking for.
The kids.
Baby boomer.
Mr. Lepsovich.
Yes, thank you, President. I just have one thing to say. I'm thanking all the administrators tonight for all the hard work preparing for the safety meeting. You did an excellent job. Thank you.
Dr. Short.
Thank you. Just to follow up on our hour-long presentation for the viewing public that may be just tuning in for the board meeting. Our Safe to Say safety presentation will be uploaded and live on YouTube tomorrow, the next day. So if there are, I've had multiple phone calls and emails from the public that could not attend tonight's meeting. It will be placed live on YouTube on the district website. So please take a look. If there are any questions, don't hesitate to email us. That's all.
Thank you. I did want to thank the staff in particular for the cooperation as we rolled out these new safety procedures and just with the planning. And there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, and it takes a lot of people to do this. And without an excellent staff and administrators, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do here. So I just want that appreciation to be public to all those involved. We may want to consider, I'm open to having another safety meeting in a few weeks because there were a lot of people that I think wanted to facilitate some more Q&A and discussion. And I know, we really wanted to get this meeting done tonight because we had to cancel it for weather-related reasons. But that doesn't mean that we're not open to having further discussions with the community as we move forward with the metal detectors in particular. Mr. McIntyre mentioned that he and I went to a PSA panel discussion for school board presidents and vice presidents, and I want to tell you the reason that came about. I actually wasn't going to bring it up, but the reason that came about was because we had invited Senator Jim Brewster to come to our school about a month ago, and the Pennsylvania School Board Association has a government liaison that tries to connect schools with their legislative representatives so that you can build relationships with them and they can, advocate for you on behalf of your districts legislatively. And so 2 members of this PSBA came on the tour with us with Senator Brewster, and I have to tell you that they were so blown away by the safety and security measures at the Gateway School District. That is the reason that they asked us to come to the meeting and asked me to be a panelist, was to talk about what we've done here with safety and security in our school police force. The cameras, just the numerous things that we do here. And after being at that meeting and listening to other districts and hearing what they're doing, Gateway really is leading and ahead of the curve. And our schools are so far ahead of so many other of our neighboring communities. And that's not a pat on the back to us. That's just a pat on the back to the entire district, the support of the community, the staff, the faculty, the administrators. And I think, you can see that there is a real strong commitment from everyone to work collaboratively to keep our schools as safe as we can. And we also did learn a lot of other things about other school districts and other boards. And I'll tell you what, we're doing pretty good. That's all I'm going to say. The way other districts run meetings and committees and Gateways is on the right track. So I just want to share that with you. One more person I have to thank is the SGA. They gave all the school board members a Valentine gift, a nice cup filled with candy. So many thanks to SGA for our gift. We greatly appreciate that. Before we adjourn, I do need a motion to go into another executive session. Before I do that, we will not be having any further business. Upon the completion of that, we will adjourn. So I do need a motion for an executive session on additional personnel discussions. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.